Good morning, everybody. It's the Savage Stacker. All right, I have a subject I want to talk about here that to me is very important because it will affect my stacking, your stacking, everybody's stacking. And it's nothing crazy like banks or economy or anything like that. This has to do with stacking fatigue. And I have talked to quite a few people lately that have just told me that either in the comments or a buddy like Constitutional Stacker told me this, and quite a few people have mentioned this to me, and that they are just bored of stacking. They're kind of getting tired of it, and I know this happens to me quite often, and I have gone through some changes when it comes to stacking precious metals, and I've tricked myself, like I'm just going to buy gold this month or buy silver this month or this year I'm going to focus on that. And it kind of gets played out. It kind of gets tiring. It kind of gets boring. And precious metals can be that way. I mean, when I bought my first gold coin, I was pumped up. I was jazzed for like 2 weeks, just endorphins pumping, just like I can't believe I got this ounce of gold in my hand. I was super excited and stoked. And I think that's one thing that we get from buying precious metals or making that next big purchase or whatever it is that we do, or on your way to the coin shop, we get those juices flowing. We get the adrenaline pumping and endorphins going, and it's just something that happens when you make purchases or you buy things. Like when people buy stuff, spontaneously, just random things, new shoes or whatever, waiting for something in the mail. It's those endorphins. It's that rush, dopamine rush, like doing drugs, right? And this is something I know a lot about. I've studied the brain on endorphins and things like that. So you get an adrenaline rush when you say you got a nice 10-ounce bar on the way and you're stoked, right? Well, over time, you will kind of get bored of that next 10-ounce bar coming in, right? And then there's times where I've purchased like 15 of these things at one time, 15 at once. And when I got them, I was just like, whatever, right? And we sometimes got to do things to make it exciting. And what I like to do is sometimes I buy a nice piece of vintage. And I get excited because I know that most vintage is one of a kind. There's a lot of it is there's just no two bars alike. They're especially when they're poured vintage ingots, they're all completely different. And one of my latest pickups, which I've made a video about, but is this one here. And I was trying to get this bar for many years. And this is also made by Cascade Refining, which is one of my favorite vintage refineries. And I was trying to get this, and I always got outbid on eBay or wherever I was at. And I finally, after like a couple years, was able to get one in the stack without paying $600, because I could have very easily just overbid everybody on eBay and just paid out the kazoo for this thing. But I wasn't going to do it. I know what they're worth. I know they're about a $500 bar, and I wasn't going to go over that. And I wasn't going to outbid somebody that heavy to try to obtain something that I know isn't worth that much. And these are hard to get. There's not many of them made. I mean, there's like 1,000 out there, I think. And that's pretty low mintage. Same thing with this. 1,000, maybe 1,500, I'm not sure. But they're made by the same company, and the quarter bonded are marked on the opposite side of, marked on the bottom. This one's marked on the bottom, this one's marked on the top, right? So there's your difference there, but they're by the same company, and they're poured for, I don't know if it's QTAR or I just call it quarter bonded. And but I did this purchase right here because I was kind of getting fatigued on stacking, and for a long time I would just stack tons and tons and tons of 10-ounce bars, and over time it just becomes boring, just blah, just adding weight to the stack, which is okay. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do this for, is adding weight to the stack for as cheap as I can get it. But sometimes I'm just going through the motions. I'm just bored with it. I don't want to, I'm not excited about, 10 ounces coming in the mail. I'm more worried about it getting lost in the mail than anything. So I'm checking my phone to see when it's going to be, dropped off or delivered or whatever. And I like to change things up. I have a hodgepodge of just different things in my stack, from constitutional, just tons and tons of different stuff, to got started getting some of these stackers from Scottsdale Mint, did that little giddy up. And what I like to do is just change up my strategy of stacking and have a goal. And that way, when I reach that goal, I get excited about it, right? And one of my goals is having a full tube, 20 buffaloes, gold buffaloes. And I knew this was going to take a long time to do. This one here is a proof. I have 2 of them. There's another one right there. And I didn't really want to take these out of their government mintage package to put into the tube, but a full tube of buffaloes is that's a hard one to get to. Yeah, at least it is for me, because I keep stacking silver. And every time I go buy 50 ounces of silver, that's, $1,200 or $1,500, and I'm not putting into gold. So it eats up my gold money. So to get to that, it's kind of hard. But when I get a nice chunk, like say a tax return or something like that, I go buy me a couple buffaloes and add it to the stack. And for a while there, 2022, I think I added 6 buffaloes, and I have 12 here, and I'm 8 away. So what I have set up this week to kind of bring me out of the blah, right, is I'm going to trade my gold eagles for 3 more gold buffaloes, and that will put me at 15. This gets me excited. I'm jazzed up about doing it. My coin shop guy is an amazing dude. He is willing to trade ounce for ounce, and that's one of the perks I get from shopping with him. And he gives me a couple other perks, but that's the cool thing about having a relationship with a coin shop, is getting to do things like that. So if I wanted to go and trade this 100-ounce bar, which I won't, because I got this one from my buddy Silver Bar Stacker, and I did sell one of the bars that I got from him, but this one I'm going to keep forever, because I already had 2 others like the one I got rid of. And I sold that one to buy a dirt bike, but I will keep that one. But I lost my train of thought here. But if I wanted to go down there and trade that in for another 100-ounce bar, he would do it. Now, I don't think he would trade 100 rounds for it, because he makes more money off rounds than he does off 100-ounce bars. But if I wanted to go in there and trade this bar for another 100-ounce bar, he would let me do that straight across, no problems. Just let him know. And he has a tube of buffaloes in storage, he said, and he'll have them there for me on Tuesday. Now, I only have 3 gold eagles to trade him, or I would trade 8 more for that, but everything else is in fat fractional, and I'm not trading 4 quarter ounces for a full ounce, because I would be losing like $300. So I'm not going to do that, especially something like this. This is a 1/2 ounce gold Libertad, and that thing was pricey. So that was an accidental purchase right there. I was trying to buy a coin off AppMex, and I had this in my cart, and I pushed go, and so thank you for your order of like $1,700 or $1,500. I'm like, wait, what the? And this dang thing was like, I think it was like $1,200 at the time. So I way overspent on the Libertad, and I didn't even know I had it in my cart, and it was a big old foul, but I'm glad I have it, and it's going to stay with me for a long time, because I ain't going to get all that money back. But anyways, back to getting stacking fatigue. So what I like to do is just change up my situation from silver to gold, or gold to silver, or I like to do a challenge with myself, like 20 buffaloes, or 1 10th-ounce gold a month, or just gonna stack rounds, and I want 100 of them. So and that's what I did. Early in the year, I wanted 100 rounds, so I bought these 60 here from Silver Bar Stacker. I bought the Cowboys and a thing of silver buffaloes. It got me 100, which I call fractional because I always buy 10-ounce bars. So to me, 1-ounce rounds are fractional. And because I just had so many 10-ounce bars in the stack, I needed to get a little bit of fractional silver in the stack besides my constitutional. So my little challenge for myself was, oh, I'm gonna buy for these couple months, instead of buying 10-ounce bars, I'm gonna buy 1-ounce rounds. And I did that for like, I think a month or 2 months, and got to my 100-ounce mark, and then went back to 10-ounce bars. Now, one thing that I do, which is intentional, is this is my savings account, so I'm always putting a certain amount of money into gold and silver each month anyways. And even if I go and I buy a piece of vintage, this is something to just make it a little more exciting than just buying, putting money up as a savings account, because it does get kind of boring. It gets, after a while, like if I had all this when I first started stacking, I would be just lit up, on fire, ecstatic. I would just be humming, just, I can't believe I have all this. But now I've had it for a while, and I look at it and I'm like, whatever, So it does get kind of, you do get, fatigued to it. And I do that with YouTube videos and everything. Like I had to pull back from YouTube because I was just going through the motions. And I was kind of just like, whatever, putting out another video. And then you watch the views go up, and then you watch the, the subscribers go up and stuff. And once I get to the point where I'm watching that stuff hourly, I'm like, okay, stop, hold up, pull back, because I just get too addicted to watching how many views I'm getting or all that stuff. And it doesn't matter. I don't want to get to the point where I'm so worried about my channel that I'm just, I only got 1,000 views on this video, I should have did better. Like, I don't want to do that. It's not worth it to me. I would rather make something that I like, put out some information that I enjoy, and try to share with all you. And for a while there, I was getting a bunch of views, and I was getting a lot of haters come by. But, those haters got to hate on somebody. But I was just getting bored of it. Sorry about shaking I'm on a bungee style tripod here, so any kind of tapping, it just bounces. So I gotta be careful not move stuff. But it's not intentional. I'm not trying to bounce the table intentional. So another thing that I'm gonna do to help my little stacker's fatigue here is just another trade with my coin shop, and it's something fun because I get bored of doing things, right? And just going through the motions. I'm gonna take the rest of these Nader bars right here that I got for $21 an ounce, and I'm gonna go and sell them to him for more buffaloes. So I'm gonna try to get to that 20-ounce buffalo, gold buffalo mark, right? I want a full tube of them, and I have an empty tube here that go with the coins or with the capsules, and I want to fill that up. And right now we're at 12. So if I trade those 3-ounce eagles, that's 3 more. And if I go and turn in 10 of those, that's another one and a few $100 in my pocket. So I'll actually make like $200 or $300 off of that. Now, if I would have sold that when the silver was back at 26, I would have done much better. But like I said, stacking fatigue, I want to do something that's fun. Like, just change it up. I just want to, not be bored with what I'm doing. So I'm going to take the last 10 I had of these, because I traded some, sold some, and for that whole dirt bike thing that I was going through there for a while, I sold an ounce of gold, a 100-ounce bar, and 10 of these, and bought 2 dirt bikes. And that came with a whole bunch of other problems, riding gear, new chains and sprockets, and just keeping them upkeep on those costs a little bit of money. So kind of off the dirt bike kick right now. Just, I'm hurt, so I can't really ride. So just not doing that whole deal at the moment. But I sold some stuff last year to go dirt bike riding. And so I have 10 of these left, and I'm gonna go trade them. Probably he'll give me $1 over spot. So I'll get about $25 an ounce. That'd be 2,500 bucks. I'll buy get another buffalo off of them, and that'd be, what is that? It'd probably be like, I think he's charging $100 over for a buffalo, so that'd be like $20.80 right now. That sounds expensive, $20.80 for a buffalo, but I'll make like 400, 300, 400 bucks off of those. And that's like what I said before. I have never sold silver at a loss. And I know that people think that silver's not doing its thing right now, but I've sold silver quite a few times and have never lost money on it, ever. And even one time I did lose money when I sold it. When I rebought back in, silver had dumped way, way low. And that's when I bought these at $21 an ounce. And I sold, I bought them at, the first stuff that I bought was at like $26 an ounce. I sold at 24, but then I rebought back in at 21. So I ended up making money on that deal, even though at the beginning it looked like I lost. But it had pulled back enough to where I actually shorted the market on accident and made a few $100s, which was cool. But when you look at things like that, it makes stacking exciting. Like, you can make this work for you. You can do fun things with it. You can sell some and then, wait for it to dip and then use that same money and buy back and take that extra money and go, look at, I made $200, right? So when you look at metals like that, it kind of makes it fun. And there's just different things that you can do instead of just putting it in a box and sticking it in a corner. And a lot of this was by accident, but it just makes it fun. Now, there's also the challenges you can do, right? Like the, I don't even have it out right here. Let me see if I can get it out. Yeah, I can get it right here. 1/10 ounce, right? 1/10 ounce. I think there's 25 of them in here. It's even past the top of this thing. So I have 25 of them in here. That's 2.5 ounces. So for 25 months, I bought 1/10 ounce of gold at a time. And that was a fun challenge. I did that for, over 2 years, and got a nice little stack of 2.5 ounces of gold right here. And it was just something fun to do, right? Just made, stacking kind of exciting. Now I got a bunch of 1/10 ounce gold that's fits in this tube here, and it was just kind of a fun thing to do. And just find different ways, new ways to make stacking fun. And another way that I like to keep it fun is trading with the community, right? There are things that I have, that you have, that other people have, that somebody in the community wants. And you're like, whatever, I have 4 of them and I don't really care. And so if you make a video and says, hey, I would like to trade somebody in the community, I'm looking for this, or this, trying to trade these 4 bars for whatever. And I guarantee you there's going to be somebody in the community that goes, oh, I really been wanting to get one of those, and I have this for you. And you can do trades in the community. Now make sure that you know the people, or, I've done some trades with people that are just subscribers, and I asked them, hey, look, I have something to lose, my reputation of YouTube on the line. Can you send it to me first? And, I'll get it out to you, no problem, And the few people that I've traded with were like, yeah, no problem. Like, no problem at all. Just shout me out. I'm like, sure. So I shout them out, and I get the piece, and I send them their stuff, and everything worked out great. So you do have to be careful, though, because if something gets messed up in the mail or something, you're kind of on the hook for, taking care of that business, or unless you've pre-talked about it, like, hey, if something happens, I'll give you a tracking number. If it gets lost, like, I can't replace it. It's one of a kind or whatever. So you do got to be careful with that. But trading with people in the community, it can be fun. It is fun. And you can get something you've been really looking for, or get something that you really don't care about that somebody else really wants, right? And just make it fun. Have fun with it. And sometimes we just get bored and we're going through the motions buying gold and silver, but I will tell you, one day, this is really going to save our ass. It really is. And I'm grateful that I've just been grateful lately for a lot of things, and maybe because it's Thanksgiving or the holidays or stuff, but I am so grateful that I was able to do this and stack and have fun and meet you all, meet the community, make some videos and have some fun along the way. Just, you know, because this wasn't a part of my life. A lot of you I know have been stacking for many, 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 many years, but up until 2019, I had nothing. No gold, no silver, no nothing. I have a little bit of gold in my rings, some necklaces, and I was all about having gold. And I'm like, how do I do this? How do I get it? I don't know where to start. And one day I just went and bought some gold and never looked back. You know, my mom gave me a 1 ounce round, and I was like, of silver, and I was like, man, I really want a lot more of this stuff. Actually, it was a ½ ounce round, and best gift she ever gave me. And look at me now, 4+ years later, 4.5 years later, just in my mind, crushed it. And if you get bored of it, just find a way to keep yourself enthused, because it's worth it, and it's going to save our ass in the long run. So thank you everybody for coming by. I truly appreciate it. It is the Savage Stacker. Remember to hit that bell icon so you get updated on my latest videos. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Savage Stacker's over and out.